Does the recent investor focus on Bitcoin crystallize your concerns on the market?
I think Bitcoin sort of is an animal unto itself, but it's definitely gotten a lot of attention recently, even more so after Jamie Dimon commented in very harsh terms about it's being a bubble or being a fictitious currency, etc. I'm not really going to speak to that one because I'll leave him to his own opinions, and it's almost impossible to value something like that. What I find interesting is I've been thinking about this, and I see a lot of parallels to the internet bubble of the late 90s and early 2000s. First and foremost, there's a lot of hype about a new technology, if in the case of the internet or in the case of a cryptocurrency. And what I also see is investors, many younger investors in many cases, who are more willing to take the mental leap or have less historical bias about the whole thing, seeing the potential in the technology that underlies these. And we saw that again in the internet bubble, and we see that in the cryptocurrency space today. For example, in the late 90s and the early 2000s, you had Pets.com, Toys.com, all these kind of companies that didn't really seem to have a business plan, but they were just buying up whatever came out and taking them to extraordinary valuations. And ultimately, most of these business models were not sustainable. And I suspect that something similar is happening with all these internet coin offerings, where you can almost create your own pseudocurrency and watch it go. In that sense, that is very troublesome. The flip side is, underneath the internet bubble, there really was a technology that was transformative. And there are winners and losers. Amazon was certainly the winner that I would point to, the great winner that I would point to out of that era. And I think the same can kind of be said about Bitcoin. The blockchain in and of itself, in many ways, is a revolutionary form of accounting. I've seen it described as triple entry accounting, where single entry accounting being I have 6 cows and 3 goats, double entry accounting being I have 6 cows, 3 goats, but I borrowed the money to buy those cows and goats, so my debt diminishes my net worth, and my debt to you enhances your net worth, and that really allows us to have the financial system we have today. Bitcoin adds the layer of tracking all the transactions through the blockchain. That, I think, really is a technology that has enormous potential if it really does turn out to be construed as, let's say, a third level of accounting. So getting back to it, does it worry me? Are there parallels? Yes, and because we don't really know who's trading these things. I suspect there's a lot of money coming from shady sources and giving it a home. And I think a lot of the money laundering concerns that we see in the banking and brokerage business that we all have to be attuned to are not really being addressed in the cryptocurrency world. So that's the historical perspective that I'm seeing it. And when I draw those kind of parallels, I find it a bit easier to get my mind around it. And I think other investors who are thinking of either investing in the cryptocurrency space or have dabbled there, I think that's a useful parallel to keep in your mind as you're evaluating whether to be invested. I don't think so. I think right now I think because it's its own little corner of the investment world. I don't think it has reached a lot of mainstream. I think there would be individual catastrophes. I think there are people who are investing in it, college kids, Japanese housewives. There's a whole gamut of people who have been alleged to be adopters of this technology. But I don't think that there's enough float in the cryptocurrency space to really create that sort of problem. A crucial difference to the internet bubble was you had these companies going into the indices. Investors had to start investing in them, or because they were stocks, if you're a technology investment firm or you ran a technology mutual fund or growth mutual fund, how could you not invest in these things without the risk of vast underperformance? And so when reality caught up to many of these companies, you had a lot of mainstream money caught up in it, and it spilled back. In this case, it's still a niche investment, referring to cryptocurrencies. And so if there's a big problem, even with it being a niche investment, I don't think that has broader implications to the markets as a whole.